Now it's my privilege to introduce Jason Lavigne as the next speaker. You probably all know Jason as a famous podcaster in Alberta and a very well-respected speaker.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great job.
Thank you
very much. Give it up for Michael, Dr. Michael. So quick disclaimer, he is paid by the word. I am paid by the hour, so I'll be a little bit slower here. Just to be clear. I am Jason Lavigne. I am the host of the Lavigne Show. Anybody familiar with the Lavigne Show? Oh, wow. My people. Those that have not seen it yet, there's some cards at the front. Check it out. We do a lot of long-form interviews. Michael's been on. Ben's going to come on at some point. And then Ben Trudeau here was on just this Tuesday. And it was an excellent episode, so go check that out. I never thought my career would get me to the point where I have to introduce a Trudeau. And you clap. Like, I guess something went downhill, right, Ben? I've been working really hard trying to learn. This is what I'm doing, is spending a lot of time learning. And when you sit and listen to someone like Dr. Michael here, you learn a lot. You learn that Alberta wasn't voted in to the Confederation. It was colonized, stroke of a pen. The first premier was appointed, not voted. And this is how we started. If you speak to other people and do lots of interviews like I've done, over 800 of them now, you'll learn to use the 2 ears God gave you to listen and a lot less talking, because this information is important. And this is called Let's Talk Alberta, but it doesn't mean we're talking to you. It's an invitation to have conversations. We would love to hear more from everybody in this audience by the end during the Q&A, so do queue up your questions and be able to have them for us. How many people here heard about this on X? Oh, wow. Facebook? Word to mouth? CBC? No? Nobody's watching that anymore? How many people in here are undecided? They're not sure what they want to do yet. Okay, everybody else is pretty decided? Yeah? Okay, so what we need to do now is start talking to the undecided and having conversations with them. One of the things I would highly recommend when you're having conversations with your neighbors, and even if it's getting heated, is start to listen to what they have to say. Listen to why they're worried. Why are they scared? Why is there fear? Is it just nostalgia? Is it the Canada they once knew? If you sit there and give them some time to kind of let it all out, you'll probably agree with them. What will the future hold if we separate? What happens to the system? Do we have to rebuild everything? Can we inherit some stuff? Can we just take over? How much is it going to cost? 400 billion, 300 billion, 200 billion? There's a bunch of different numbers out there. How long is it going to take? 6 months, 6 years, a generation? We actually don't have those answers yet. And I encourage you not to be afraid of that. For the longest time, I considered this a divorce, a very abusive relationship, and it's about time that we stood up and walked out. But I kind of shifted my opinion on that, and I see this more as a birth. It's a birth of a new nation. There's going to be some trauma. The mother and the baby will go through some trauma. You don't know what the baby's going to be. You don't know if it's going to be an engineer, a pipe fitter, a liberal. But you still want to have that baby because it's very, very exciting to see them grow. I see some giggles back there from some young people. It's great to see some young people. Isn't this fire? Yeah? 6, 7. We got to engage the young people, folks. For the other people that don't understand that, they know. Look at them. They're laughing here. But we do this for you. A lot of us kind of already got our future set. We kind of did all our hard work, built up our farms, our ranches, got our property ready to go. But how many are here for the next generation? We do this for you. Because we want to give you the Canada that we thought we grew up in. Because a lot of us loved it. I do love Canada. I do love the Canadian people. I still consider myself Canadian. But when I look at through the lens of my young ones, this isn't the place that it once was. How many people here heard Dr. Michael Wagner come up and share his pronouns or his sexual preference? There's no room for that in education, but we learned a lot from him. How many people here are worried about the direction of our education? Even the young ones. Did you know, and I'm going to have to share this with you, just 20 years ago, the average first home buyer age was 24. At the age of 24, you bought your first house. What is it today? 44. It now takes 20 years longer to get that down payment for your first home. That used to be your mortgage. By the time you were 44, you were already done. You owned the place. Now, you just got enough for your down payment. How many people have 20, 30-year-olds living with them right now? We got a couple hands. This is kind of how it is right now. I'm not trying to scare you, but we were talking to some young people, and they were telling us the one thing that they really wanted was to get out on their own, start their own family, start their own home, and be able to raise their family. That's sovereignty. What you're actually talking about is sovereignty from your parents. You want to have autonomy. You want to do it on your own. This is what this movement's about. When the country was younger, it made a little bit more sense. The West was a little bit thinner. They didn't have as many people. Lots of infrastructure needed to be developed. So it kind of made sense to kind of be a family and have Montreal and Toronto kind of be like mom and dad and kind of help out, guide us, build things like the railroads, the Trans-Canada Highway, other infrastructure. But just like a family, people grow up, and then people eventually need to leave and do their own thing. And I think we've reached that stage. I actually believe we've been at that stage for a long time. So Justin Trudeau, Mark Carney, sorry, where's the swear jar? I owe a couple bucks in there. I actually thank them for doing what they've done the last 12 years or so, because they really focused their energy on us, which opened up our eyes. To a lot of people, COVID was a devastating time, but it was also an awakening. What was your government willing to do? Who's on the wrong end of the boomstick in Ottawa? Canadians. Who was doing it to them? Canadians under order. And I think a lot of us woke up. I know that this church stayed alive during that time. Thank you, Pastor Mark. Not enough churches did, though. If more politicians, more churches, more people, more restaurants, like the Whistle Stop, just ignored those orders and fought back, maybe it would have been different. But I kind of thank the government for putting us through that, because we now know where are the good churches, who are the pastors that will stand up, what restaurants will make sure that you're fed, which politicians really care about your people. We were able to kind of get rid of the chaff. Some farmers out there, you know that. Now we got a bunch of seeds. And these seeds are now planted all over and they're growing. I see some wonderful people here from my church and from my community, some faces I've seen around and some new faces. I couldn't be more happy to be part of this community. So I do have to thank Trudeau for that. Without his push out of the nest, I don't know if I would have waken up like this. But now we have an opportunity. It's not going to be a 1776 where we need to pick up arms and fight back that way. This is a modern world where we can do it with votes. Some people are not pleased that we're voting on a referendum to have a referendum. It kind of seems weird, right? But at least we have this opportunity to vote. And we didn't do it with firearms, violence, or even shutting down the province. We did it through collecting a bunch of signatures and sending a message to Edmonton to say, hey, we want to do this. How many canvassers are in this room right now? Holy smoke. Can you please stand up? Can you please stand up? They sat in the snow, they sat in the wind. How many fingers did you get on average a day? Quite a few, right? But how many signatures did you collect? A lot of people came up to these people and said, hey, I trust you, and I want you to take my voice forward with my signature and let Edmonton know we're ready to do this. People are a little bit frustrated with Danielle Smith. They were expecting more. I wish she didn't put her finger on the scale, but she gets a vote too. We all get a vote. How many people are familiar with Brexit? I know Michael is, yeah, for sure. Want to quickly tell us about it? One of the things that you should pay attention to the Brexit movement is all the establishment was against them. All the establishment said stay. And what ended up happening? The people voted to leave. Surprised a lot of people. And if you take a close look at that, it was because the establishment was against the people and so unified in that. We're seeing the same thing here. Nancy, Smith, Kenny, Harper, Lusakic. Do you have a word that rhymes with Lusakic in your next song? No? Think about it. We'll see you next week. They're all on the same side on this one. They're all saying we should stay, keep fighting. Who watched the debate with Kenny and Keith Wilson? Okay, so I got a little pop quiz for you. Who said the Constitution cannot be fixed? Wilson or Kenny? Kenny. Who said it's been an unfair deal with Ottawa for the last 40 years? Wilson or Kenny? Kenny. Who said that it's a very tough fight and we've got to put our shoulder to the wheel? Wilson or Kenny? Kenny. If you listen to that debate, they actually agreed on everything except for one point. They agreed that Alberta has been suppressed, Ottawa has been working hard against the West, and it's impossible to fix. The only place that they were different is the solution. Wilson says, we can do this on our own, and it's time. And Kenny said, let's just keep fighting. I think Einstein had a quote for that, right? The definition of insanity is to keep trying the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I almost got to your speed there. So my message to all of you today, because I'm speaking to the choir here, so let's turn you guys into messengers and disciples and go out there and have conversations. And remember, the first 10 minutes, just listen. Relate. I too feel that way. I too understand that. But now it's time for some change. And just like Ben's song, it's time for some change. That's what you can tell them. And one last thing I'm going to ask you all to do, because we're sincerely looking for this. One good argument to stay in Canada. We've had people go up to the Forever Canada people and ask them, why should we stay? And they don't give an answer. They actually just say, go to the website, look it up, find it. And the response is, well, I want your opinion. Why do you, who's here proposing for federalism, why do you want to stay? They don't have an answer. I once said because we can get more Olympic medals if we stay together. But after watching the curling incident, I don't know if I want to be on that team anymore either. But I do encourage you all to listen and talk to your neighbors, and don't be shy about it, because courage is courageous, and this is time for courage. Thank you all very much for your time tonight, and I appreciate it. God bless.